What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, we're here. The most important week of the season. The happiest and the saddest week of the NFL season. Week 17. It brings lots of joy because if your team's fighting to get in the playoffs, you gotta win and you're in. There's so many scenarios that comes in week 17. It's the most competitive week of the entire season because it determines a lot of people's fate. So it's the happiest and most competitive moment, but at the same time, it's the saddest moment of the season. Easily the saddest week. Why? Because the football season is coming to an end. The postseason is a different animal, but the NFL season is coming to an end. Meaning if your team's not in the tournament, you'll be seeing them in September of next year. A lot of teams already been eliminated. You'll be seeing them next season. And it's such an unfortunate time because when you know your team's not going to the playoffs, you just sit back and say, week 17, I'm just going to enjoy seeing my team for the last time and I'll see them again in September. And that sucks. To go from December all the way to September, that sucks not seeing your team. And it hurts. But it's something that must happen. I'm going to miss talking about all these teams I've gotten to talk about this season, man. I've yelled at the Jets, man. I've talked about the Falcons, man. I've focused on the entire NFC East. I mean, talked about Seattle, talked about Arizona, gave some talk about the Rams. So confused as to what the Rams are, man. I've spent so much time in the NFC and then talk about this competitive AFC with the Chiefs and the Bills and the Titans and the Steelers and the Ravens and the Browns and all these guys fighting for a spot. It's been fun talking about these teams this season. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed it. This has been the most exciting season I've actually had as a football fan. Not as a Ravens fan. That was last year when we were blowing out teams. This year has been one of the more frustrating seasons. And at least not, frustrating, but more up and down type of season. Like, I don't know if we're going to make it or not. At one point, we're raising up, and then we just fall down and crash. And it's just that moment of depression you see me have for like several days on this channel where I'm just sitting on the floor like this, like, why is this happening to the Ravens? Like those moments. And now we've risen up again with the opportunity to make the playoffs. Hopefully I won't be back on the floor doing that again, because God knows if we lose that game on Sunday, I'm going to be on the floor. I'm going to be heated, but let's not put that happening. I believe in the Ravens. I believe they're going to get the job done. But yeah, so many things have happened this season. It's been a chaotic season to go through, but it's been a very interesting season, and it's coming down to one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive week 17 we've seen in like the last 15 years. You've got 7 playoff teams right now fighting, 7 different contenders fighting for a playoff spot. The only wild card spot that has been given was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that clinched a playoff spot. That's it. You've got 3 spots left in terms of the AFC, 2 spots left in terms of the NFC, 1 spot left in terms of the NFC East to win that division, and 1 spot left in the AFC South between the Titans and the Colts. So it's going to be a lot of scenarios for week 17. Right now, you see in the AFC, the Chiefs have taken the 1 seed. Week 17 doesn't matter. So the Chiefs have taken the 1 seed. That's where they are. The Bills and the Steelers are at 2 and 3. They are fighting to get that 2 seed. Right now, I believe the Steelers are the 2nd seed. So the Bills are the 2nd seed, my bad, because they won against the Patriots. So the Bills are the 2 seed, and the Steelers are the 3 seed, and they're fighting to see who can get that seed. However, it seems like the Steelers have kind of conceded because they rested Ben Roethlisberger, so it looks like they're not really concerned over getting that seed. They'll just take the 3 seed and be fine with that. Then you got the 4 seed. That's the whole division between the Titans and the Colts. Who's going to get that? Depending on what happens on Sunday, somebody's winning that division. Then you go to the 5 seed, the Miami Dolphins, the biggest surprise of this season, man. They've been going back and forth between 2 quarterbacks, and they're still finding their way in the playoffs. They've got to be the Bills squad, who I don't know whether or not they're going to play their starters. But again, they're going to have to be the tough Bills squad, who's also been the best team in like the past month. So best of luck to the Dolphins. That's going to be the test of the year. Do they go with Tua? Do they go with Fitzpatrick? Do they go with both? Probably both. And just depending on the scenario, they'll probably switch them in. So yeah, that matchup against the Bills, if the starters are playing, I don't see how the Dolphins win that. That could be the end. If the starters are not playing for the Bills, the Dolphins are getting into the playoffs. Then you've got the 6th seed, the Baltimore Ravens, one of the hottest teams right now. They're looking dangerous. Lamar Jackson, he's back to MVP form. This offense is putting up over 30 points a game. They're balling. This team has been great. The defense has been doing their job. They've been looking like one of the best. Despite the fact that they've had injuries, they've been playing like one of the best, minus the Cleveland Browns game. So you look at this Ravens squad, and everyone wants to declare them as a team you don't want to see in the playoffs. And let's stop it right there. I hate when they use that type of title for a wild card team because you don't deserve that. You're a wild card squad, okay? The team you don't want to see in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs. The team you don't want to see in the AFC right behind the Chiefs are the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens are a team that when they're healthy, they have a legitimate shot to compete for a championship. They have a legitimate shot to beat the Bills. They have a legitimate shot to beat the Steelers, the Titans, and they have a good shot to beat the Chiefs. Doesn't mean they're going to because they've yet to beat the Chiefs under Mahomes, but they've got a good shot to. That's just what it means. When they're healthy and they're playing like this, they are a serious threat and a legit contender. That's what the Ravens are when healthy and playing at a high level. They're not this whole team you don't want to see. No, the team you don't want to see goes to the number 1 seed because they've been the best. And of course, Kansas City's beaten all the teams. I mean, they beat Buffalo, they beat Tennessee. Yeah, they beat Buffalo, they beat Baltimore. They've beaten so many teams this season that are playoff squads. So yes, they get that. Oh yeah, they're beating the Saints as well. They deserve to have the title of the team you don't want to see in the playoffs. But you know you're gonna see at some point. They're the most dangerous team, not the wild card team that's still fighting to get their spot. Baltimore, healthy and playing at this level, is a legitimate contender. You call them that. So they're at the 6th seed right now. They're in a win and get in situation going up against Cincinnati. That should be a game they win. If they don't win, it'll be one of the biggest choky performances and meltdowns we've seen from a team in quite some time. They better get the job done. Then sitting at the 7th seed is the Cleveland Browns. This upcoming Week 17 game means everything for Cleveland. They haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade. Okay? 15 years now since they haven't been to the playoffs? It's been quite some time. They're trying to get in. All they have to do is go out and win a football game, and they're in. They're in. Win a football game, Cleveland, and you're in. Just win. Just win. Just win. Just win. That's it. I don't care who they're throwing out there. Just win. So if they win that game against the Steelers, who will be starting Mason Rudolph, they're going into the playoffs. And then last but not least, who's sitting on the outside, the Indianapolis Colts, who blew a 21-point lead to the Steelers and put themselves in this situation when they were the ones that were holding their own destiny in their hands. They just kind of screwed up by blowing a 21-point lead. So now they got to win and hope for some help. And that's basically the AFC. Moving on to the NFC. You got the number 1 seed in the Green Bay Packers. They have not clinched the number 1 seed yet. I believe they have to win Week 17 and they get it. Simple. Win Week 17, you get the number 1 seed. Right behind them is New Orleans Saints at the 2 seed. They need to win and hope the Packers lose to the Bears in order for the Saints to get the number 1 seed and get that first round bye. Right behind them is the Seattle Seahawks, who just won the NFC West. They took it away from the Rams, won that division. They're sitting at the 3 seed, nice and comfortable. Then at the 4 seed, that is the NFC East division. It all comes down to Week 17. If Washington wins, they're in, okay? All these teams we're talking about, everyone in the NFC East, except the Philadelphia Eagles, because they got eliminated. All these teams, they have no shot to get to the wild card spot. It's win the division and get in the playoffs, or you're done for the season. So with Washington, they got one simple thing. You're going up against Philadelphia. It's a win and you're in situation. Win a football game, Washington. Win a football game. It's the Eagles. The Eagles. Win. Simple as that. I don't know if Alex Smith's going to be healthy. And if not, just put Heineke in there. Let's see what he can do. Honestly, we just got to see, man. You got to find a way to win. If Washington loses, then that opens up the door for the Giants and the Cowboys, who I believe are playing each other Week 17. Meaning whoever takes that win between the two is going to win the division and going to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. Washington holds all the keys. If they lose, they're done. They have no chance to get in because the Giants and the Cowboys are going against each other in Week 17. So Washington, get the job done. Moving on to the 5th seed, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting nice and comfortable there. They clinched the playoff spot. Brady and the crew have been looking great. He's looking to go on this revenge tour and take this team to the Super Bowl. Right after that, we've got the LA Rams, who are in serious trouble because if the way the scenario is working out for them in Week 17, they could be out of the playoffs with a loss. We'll get into that because they're going up against the Cardinals. Right behind the Rams are the Bears, who somehow found their way back in the playoff race. Nobody understands how the Bears are in the playoffs right now. All they got to do is beat the Green Bay Packers in Week 17. That's going to be incredibly difficult, especially because the Packers are probably looking to, secure that number 1 seed. So there's a very good chance the Bears lose Week 17. I mean, the Bears have been one of the hottest teams in the league, and their offense has been the hottest offense in the league. So definitely, it's going to be a tough matchup because all of a sudden Trubisky and that offense want to start playing like this now. And all of a sudden, you got the front office questioning whether or not they should keep this dude. Good luck with that, I'll say that. But yeah, the Bears, they got to win, and they're in. The same for the Rams. Win their game, and they're in. Sitting on the outside, the last team, the Arizona Cardinals. Losing to the 49ers took them out of that spot because the Bears ended up winning their game against the Jags. So now Arizona's in a situation where they got to win and they're in. They don't need help. The only reason they don't need help is because Week 17, they take on the Rams. They honestly could have been in a situation where they're going to need help. But since they're taking on the Rams, if they win against the Rams, they're in. So now when you look at those spots, the scenarios, you basically see that with the Rams, they're in the worst situation. Goff is gone. Goff will not be playing in Week 17. He's hopeful to play in the playoffs if they get to the playoffs. But here's the thing. With Goff now gone, because I believe he broke his thumb, or he either dislocated or broke his thumb on his throwing arm. So with him gone, they're going to have to put in the backup. I don't know who this guy is. And he's going to have to take on the Arizona Cardinals. If the Rams lose to the Cardinals and the Bears beat the Packers, the Rams are out of the playoffs. They'll be out of the playoffs at 9-7. If the Rams beat the Cardinals season, and the Bears end up beating the Green Bay Packers, the Arizona gets into the playoffs and the Bears season is over. The Bears, all they really got to do is win. So this is going to be very interesting. The playoff race is heating up. Week 17 is coming down to the wire. This is going to be great. I can't wait to see these matchups. As a Ravens fan, all I can hope for is that we get the job done against Cincinnati. I don't care who we face off in the first round, because with my mindset, I know matchups definitely do matter, but if you're truly going to be a Super Bowl team, you can overcome anybody. So if we end up matching up with the Titans or the Bills or the Steelers in the first round, if the Ravens are truly truly that team that can go and contend and compete for a championship and get there, they should have no problem winning that first game. We already know Lamar is going to get crucified if they don't win that first playoff game. So, the ball is in Baltimore's court. Start by getting the job done against Cincinnati, and whoever you face in the playoffs, will take it from there. Clinch your spot first before we can talk about playoffs. We'll see what happens, man. The whole goal is get in the playoffs, okay? Best of luck to all the teams competing in Week 17 for a playoff spot. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. We'll see what happens. It should be fun. With that being said, that is all I got. Wow, Week 17 is going to be a joy. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.